going on? It's your boy Softstep. So I've been wanting to show a little bit of what it is or what we do when we cross the border. For like a lot of people been asking me, hey, Softstep, what do you do when you cross the border? Or is there any tips for us when you're crossing the border? Alright, I have a few tips for you when you're crossing the border. A few tips. First of all, before you even think about crossing the border, just make sure that you have your documents up to date. Make sure that you're able to actually cross the border. Okay? You're not going to cross the border with a criminal record of certain kind unless you're exempt. I'm not going to speak on that too much because I don't know a lot about that, the criminal side of it. But I know if you have certain record, it can deem you inadmissible to enter into the United States or enter into Canada. Okay? Now, let's break it down simple. Before you come up to the border, you need to know a few things. One, you need to know where you're going. You need to know what's in your truck. Where you're going, what's in your truck. Okay? And a lot of times you need to know the broker. A lot of times you need to know the broker as well, especially when you're trying to clear back into Canada, because a lot of times these brokers, you might have to go up to the broker to try and get the load clear, and it can happen for both ways too, going in and coming out. Okay, try and know your broker if you can, but make sure you are very familiar with what's on your paperwork. Make sure you're very familiar with what's on your paperwork. Okay? Where you're going. Okay? Next thing that you got to be very aware of. Make sure you're aware of what's on your truck. Meaning, what's on your person. What is in your cab. Make sure you're very aware of what's in your cab. Okay? Don't take anything from anyone. Don't let anyone give you no bags to drop off. None of that stuff. You don't put anything in your truck from no one. Don't let them give you anything to drop off. Right? Because once they give you something to drop off, that can be a lot of trouble. That can get you in a lot of trouble. Because you don't know what the person is actually giving you the tip. Okay? Now, make sure when you pull up to the booth, or when you're almost pulling up to the booth, you need to make sure that you have your paperwork in your hand, your passport if you have a passport, your PR card if you have a PR card, whatever travel documents you have, make sure you have them readily available. Also make sure you have the bill of lading, the paperwork on your seat, make sure you have the bill of lading available. You can just reach your hand and grab it and take it out, just in case they're asking you a couple of questions about the paperwork, where you're going, what's your address, etc., etc. Okay? Next thing, if you show up at the border for the first time, you're going to need an I-94. Okay? It's a certain type of tax that they charge for you to use the ports back and forth going into US, and you pay that once. I think it's like $5, and you cross for 6 months, and then you have to renew it. Right? Now, while you're in your semi, try and remember if you're in a reefer. If you forgot, some guys will be annoyed, some guys will get mad, some guys will probably won't even say anything to you. Right? But try and turn off your reefer. Just make sure when you turn off your reefer, just do me one favor. Try and remember to turn it back on. Don't be in a rush after you get your passport and they clear you and you gotta go and then you forget to turn your reefer on. That can be catastrophic. It can be very bad. Okay, you're hauling reefer load. Remember to turn off your reefer before you go up to the boots. Remember to turn it on as soon as you leave the boots. You can stop just ahead of the boot once you stop and turn your reefer back on, right? And you can stop just before you get into the boot, or while you're behind the while you're like second in line or so, you turn your reefer off. That guy pulls up, right? You can pull up. You don't have to get out and shuffling around looking for all your documents, looking for your papers. One other advice I have for you: if you're in a once before you get up to the boot and it's night time, even daytime, sometimes the cabs are dark, turn your lights on. Turn the lights on in the truck. Switch the lights on. You show up here, you're in a hurry, you just want to grab your paperwork, you show up here, you're all disorganized and all that stuff. It can be a lot of problems. It can get you, a lot of times it can get you dragged into secondary. Anything can get you dragged into secondary. Anything can get you dragged into getting you searched back there. Anything. You just answer the question the wrong way, or the guy just feels like he just needs to put you back there and search your shit, right? But a lot of times it saves you time when you know what's on your paperwork, you know what's in your trailer, you know what's in your truck, you cut the lights on once you pull up to the booth, and you answer the questions directly. You don't be circling around telling them stuff that they don't need to know. You wait for them to ask you questions, then you answer. You have people who like to just yap. That's great. If that's what they do, they do. But a new guy going up there, you want to answer them when they ask you questions, okay? You want to be familiar with what's in your truck, what's on your paperwork, what's your hauling. Also, you have to be familiar with where you're actually going, as per se, like the city, just be familiar with everything about your trip. It saves you time, it saves you money, and it saves you a lot of headache, guys. Sorry about that, guys. As you can see, I had to cut that video short. I was actually at the border while I was making that video. I keep forgetting to make the videos when I get up to the border, so I figured I'd just jump on there real quick and just kind of make the video. I kind of ran through it a little bit, but there's a lot more stuff that you guys need to cross the border. There's a lot more to it. On the side, I'm going to put up a couple of things that you guys might need. I'm just going to be showing them on the screen here. I'm going to be writing a few things, probably set up a few pictures, and kind of display a couple of things. But yeah, you do need a lot more stuff to cross the border, but there's some simple procedure that you can follow before crossing the border. It doesn't hurt to meet a guy who have been crossing the border before and ask a couple of questions and get familiar with crossing the border. Not that it's going to help you from being sent back to secondary or anything, but it makes your life easier when you are familiar with your trip. It makes your life a way easier when you're familiar with your trip. And like I said, don't be taking anything from people. Don't have people give you stuff, and unless you know for sure what it is, just stay away from it. Stay away from these fruits and vegetables. You can go on the website, you can read on what you're allowed in and out of the States and Canada. It's all there on the website, what's not allowed, etc., etc. So for the new guys who are trying to cross the border, just familiarize yourself with the procedures. Read, go on the website, and there's tons of information there, guys, so you don't get caught off guard when you walk up to the booth. You're looking like you're stupid, you're there looking dumb, and a lot of times that gets you put back in the secondary faster than if they just feel like they want to put you back there, or they see some inconsistency, or you have a record or something. They'll just put you back there based on your record,
or based on inconsistency, based on your answers. However, these are not legal advice, guys. These people are allowed to do pretty much whatever once you pull up at the border. You're subject to search. However, it can make your life way easier if you know what's on your documents, what's in your truck, what's on you.